All right. So, last week was a interesting session, to put it that way, for the characters. We were sent to go on a mission to retrieve a power core from a ray unit on the planet where the Tallgeese fight had happened. Snarf volunteered to go with, even though this was his last day before retirement, to get the core out and do it correctly. Best thing forward. We went down to the planet, and while the majority of the squad was stuck on top of the oil rig they were sent to fighting Raging Raven, down below, Towns, Davine, and Snarf went to retrieve the power core, only to be met with another Max Tech prototype. They fought against it, but it brutally killed Snarf in front of them before being taken down. In front of Davine as well, taunting her after doing it. We managed to get the power core back, but most of the rest of the day was spent just in pain at the loss of a friend. They then went on the podcast with Scar disguised as Davine to maintain her image, and that went interestingly, with Davine being confronted with a lot of the ways that she ended up treating Snarf. It's been a little while, and we're now on at Yen's temple, and I believe that's everything, correct?
Yep. So, how's Davine doing?
Oh, she's not doing well. Uh, she right now she's just by the lake, staring into the water with her knees up to her chest, not really saying anything just yet.
Well, the rest of the game, I'll watch from up here, looking down at Davine. Well, you can faintly hear, though there is some distance between the two parties here, Hunk and Scar talking, and Zap. Banksky. He was my friend, Banksky. And this poor Banksky just put his hand on Zap's shoulder and head down, looking kind of sad too. Icy stands with her hand on her forehead, looking at Davine. Pequod looking at Davine, not sadly, just concerned. Sarah's same way, and Towns and Sasha just looking over at Sap. Go ahead.
She's not doing well.
No, really?
None of us are, but. Oh my.
Julius, have you ever seen her like this? As Icy puts her hand on the back of her neck.
Uh, no, literally never.
She didn't even brush her hair this morning.
She hasn't brushed her hair for a week.
Oh no, poor thing.
Sarah, is she bathing?
Not that I know of.
I wouldn't know.
She is, she has sort of thrown human need for hygiene out of the way since that happened.
Pequod nods her head. Well, as bad as I feel for the way I made fun of Snarf, she's got to feel 1,000 times worse.
As Davine looks at the water and then starts playing with the grass, and she starts talking. Hi, Snuff. I don't I don't know if you can hear me or not. You probably can't, but I would I would just like to say thank you for for my for my care and making me delicious breakfast every time. You really were a pretty good cook, like you said. And I'm sorry for never eating with you. I should have been with you, and I I would love to go on that road trip. I, I'm going to save up for it so that after everything I can go on it myself. But it, it won't be the same without you. I might take Icy or Julius along if they really want to go, but I wish it was you.
As all that's being said, Ash, you hear it over your radio. You look over your shoulder, you see Town zooming in with his mask, and he shared his radio feed to your earpiece.
Oh my.
Pequod, what?
She's talking to him.
Oh?
Pequod, who?
She's talking as if she's speaking to Snarf.
Sarah's, oh gosh.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Alright.
Well, he's not listening. I see looking down at her. You sure you never seen her this way, Julius? Sasha speaks.
Nope. Never. I mean, you guys all saw how she grieved at one point. She went into the gym and punched her feelings out. To death. To death. This is, this isn't just grief, I don't think.
Guilt.
Guilt? Yeah, Pequod looks at Ash, yeah.
Yep. Guilt, depression, grief,
Regret.
of course. Oh, regret's probably a big one.
Towns looks over his shoulder back at Zap and Banksy, Hunk, and Scar. Where's Sonny and Jennifer? And Icy, they didn't want to come.
I can't blame him. Never.
And she's looking right at Davy.
That's fair. Alright, I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna bring the. No, go check on Zap. Icy looks at you, please.
Alright.
If we lose Davine, that's mentally, that's one thing. But we need Zap for the mobile suit. And Sasha, speaking of losing Davine, what are we gonna do about our psych reports? And nobody says anything.
Yeah, I'll be over with Zap. Will you guys discuss that? I'm just the armory guy. I think that's a bit above my pay grade.
Oh. Pequod, well, she's a civilian. We lost a member of the squad, moves next to Julius. So she's subject to one. What are we gonna do?
Well, who's giving the report? Who's gonna take it?
Towns looks at his wrist computer, Dr. Contry, and I think we have a plan. And he steps right behind Icy. And Icy, theoretically speaking, Dr. Contry could be convinced she gave Davine a psych report and passed her. And then somebody could fabricate and forge the document. And Towns chuckles.
Okay, so we're going to basically Jedi mind trick her,
More or less. Icy looks over at
and it won't like affect her, or would it even work? She's real smart.
Icy nods and taps her temple. It'll work and it won't hurt her.
All right, fair enough. That'll be good. That'll be good.
It's that or she actually takes the psych report and they send her away, which I'm not going to let happen.
Neither will I. And he looks over down at Davine, and he actually starts to tear up, and he clears his throat, bites the bottom of his lip, and rubs the back of his neck. Yeah. Yep.
Pequod's gonna grab your wrist. It is okay to cry.
I know. I know it is. Just. If she sees me crying, she'll start crying, and then it's a whole. The Rainfalls are sympathetic criers with each other.
Sasha, no shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Things you didn't know about me coming to light.
Towns, maybe that's what she needs.
Maybe.
I see. You know, for somebody who was cursed for the majority of his adult life, comes over and grabs Julius. You're pretty smart sometimes, Towns, and starts dragging you down here. Zap looks down at the ground, looks up on his crutch. Hey, Carly.
Hey, Zap. How are you holding up, old boy?
I would have preferred a funeral myself.
As would I, but... Looks around. It's a fitting place for him. beautiful.
I guess he liked it here. He hunches over this way.
Well, I can see why. Holding Saris's hand as he follows him. I'm not practiced much in magic, but I can feel the magic around this place. It's peaceful and serene in a way I can't really describe.
I just wish the girls would have come.
Well, it's hard for them. You know, they grieve in their own ways, and, well, we'll be honest, he's gonna look over his shoulder towards where Davine is. Can you blame them?
She ain't holding up. He's gonna reposition his crutches, so you gotta move like that. She ain't holding up too good.
No, she isn't. Honestly, she's holding up the worst of us.
Scar speaks up. Yeah, I kind of feel bad at this point.
Even when we make mistakes, it's hard to see somebody absolutely destroyed in that manner.
Scar's gonna walk up. I think I might have went a little too far. And Hunk, really? You think?
That may be an understatement, but it is what it is. It would have come to this either way. You just hastened it.
Still doesn't mean I don't feel bad.
No, and it's something you'll have to live with. Same as she'll have to live with this.
Zap, Snarf made us promise we'd look after her after he retires, so we'll look after baby girl.
Just shows how good of a man he was, and how good of men you two are.
Hunk, I think we probably should have destroyed the journal in hindsight.
No, I think it gave her a clarity that she needed. Even if it hurts, sometimes what is the best for us hurts really bad.
Clarity, she's talking to herself. You see him holding binoculars, looking across the way at Davy.
We all do at times, don't we? Little conversations in our own head or slightly spoken out loud.
Scar, not that badly. Look, she's gesturing with her hand.
Fair. But much like rubbing alcohol on a cut as a child, it has to happen. Or the wound festers and is left alone without the necessary care. Hurts in the moment, but she'll be better for it once she gets back on her feet.
Snarf was planning the road trip. Moves this way. Scar comforting him so Banksy can and stand next up.
Yes, I heard. I'm not sure what kind of road trip, but I've heard her whispering about it.
You know what might help her?
What?
If she plays some Swoto.
He's gonna put his hand up like he's gonna say, like, that's a bad idea before putting it back down. That's actually not a bad idea.
Take her mind off these terrible times. And the fact she ruined him.
Yes, exactly. It's not a... Did Zap just come up with... Whispering to Saris, did Zap just come up with a good idea without being on the mobile suit?
A good idea as long as she doesn't see the Davine character on the Snarf account.
That's true. Yes, we can make her own account, right, Zap?
Yeah, she can put many as she'd like. She could even make a Snarf character, Kelly.
Well, I'd say that's a good idea.
I think so. We'll try to get her to play when we get back to the apartment, but she's been sleeping in Snarf's room.
Oh, no.
Scar, yes. Keeping us up all night, sobbing.
He's gonna look up a brand of, like, headphones and send them over. I used these in the Headhunter days. They cancel most noise out. I kinda needed them, being stuck in an area with pretty thin walls around those two on Raven Rock.
Hunk looks at them. Good enough to cancel out Pequod and Julius, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Down here. Oh, good.
And comfortable enough to actually sleep in.
They nod their heads. Down here, Icy is taking Julius right next to Davine, and she sits on the other side of Davine. What's Davine doing?
Davine doesn't really acknowledge them. She's staring at the reflection in the lake. And she sort of sneers at it for a second. And then she looks up at them. Oh, hello, kids.
I see hello, and she looks right at you.
Hey, Mom. And he sits down next to her. You doing okay? And she just shakes her head and rests her chin on her knees. Right. Yeah, stupid question. He puts an
How?
arm.
Go.